Yep, you read that right. We just got another huge Microfreak update. Freebeat. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shoutout goes to Garen M. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. One of my very close friends and his wife had a child a few years ago, and she is now walking and talking, and the Microfreak is older than her, and it just got another firmware update. And it only costs like $350 US, and you can get it on sale for like $300 US. That's what I paid for mine a couple years back. I mean, Arturia, what are you doing? Another firmware update. I wasn't even going to make a video on this, actually. I've been very, very busy. I've covered that on the channel. I'm getting married soon. I've got a tour coming up. I've got to plan my KnobCon trip that I'm driving to. I've got sample something. I've got a whole bunch of stuff on my plate right now. I wasn't going to make a video on this. And then I looked at what was included in this firmware update, and I thought, okay, well, I feel like I have to, because the amount of support Arturia has given the Microfreak has been nothing short of incredible. I mean, we got the noise engineering oscillators. We then were surprised to learn that it had a vocoder in it, and we got a vocoder in the Microfreak. Then we got the whole wavetable and user wavetable engines. I'm probably forgetting stuff in there too. But now we have version 5.0, firmware version 5.0, and well, let's just turn the digital oscillator knob here. And much to everyone's delight, we now have a sample oscillator type. But that's not all, because we also have three more oscillator types. We have a scan grains oscillator type, we have a cloud grains oscillator type, and we have a hit grains oscillator type. And all four of these oscillator types revolve around samples. Now, in this firmware update, Arturia has given us a whole bunch of samples in the Microfreak to play with these new engines. But what I'm sure you're all waiting for me to say is that yes, with the MIDI Control Center software on the computer, you can now import custom samples into the Microfreak and tweak them, play with them to your heart's content. And yes, paraphonic mode works as well. So you can have 4-voice granular synthesis on the Microfreak, which is just insane to think about, mind-blowing. I'm not going to get super in-depth into any of it. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other creators who also got early access to this update. Shout out to Arturia for including me in that, by the way. But I'm sure, other people will go super in-depth. I just wanted to get this video out there talking about it. If anything, just because I think it's so mind-blowing that we're still getting updates for this. It came out in April of 2019, before my channel even started. Okay, so let me show you how this works. So let's go ahead and just select the basic sample oscillator type here. So we can play this stock sample that Arturia has given us. To access a different sample, simply hold Shift and turn the type knob, and that'll bring up the sample select screen. As you can see, we have piano pop, piano lo-fi, piano clean. I mean, with paraphonic mode, it's just a piano right there on the Microfreak. And yes, everything else still works. And yeah, the patch bay is still applicable, and don't worry, we'll get into our oscillator controls here in a minute. But we can go through some of these stock samples here. One of my favorites, where is it? It's coming up. The 808 drive. Let's try that with unison mode. Shift paraphonic. Come on, that's coming out of the Microfreak. Dry, by the way, there's no effects in the Microfreak. This is going right into my mixer. Yeah. Crazy. Let's keep going. There's one more that I like. Water drop. Super cool. Let's actually stay on water drop here to go over what the wave, timbre, and shape knobs do here. So the wave knob controls the start point of the sample. Okay. The timbre knob is actually bipolar, and it controls the length of the sample. So by default, it's set 100. We can scroll down to shorten that. As you can tell, it gets right down to 0, but it also goes negative, and that's how we reverse the sample playback. But we also have to adjust our start point, of course, because we're starting at the end, right? Does that make sense? So the more I decrease the length into the negative side of things, you can hear there's our sample backwards. The shape knob is the loop. Just like that. There we go. And these are all automatable, and of course you can modulate them in the patch bay as well. So yeah, wild. There's a nice little sweet spot. Yeah. Crazy. Let's keep going though to the end of the stock factory stuff, and we'll get to NP Snare 2. This is a sample of Neil Peart's drum kit from a VST I bought a long time ago before I even knew what a VST was. I just saw that I could pay like $100 and get Neil Peart's drum kit sounds. How crazy is that? We're just hearing a snare drum coming out of the Microfreak. Yeah, absolutely unreal. I'm not even scratching the surface of what's in here. I'm just, messing around. Clearly, the possibilities, if they weren't already endless, are now exponentially endless as to what you can do with this. It's just unreal. And this is a free firmware update, as all of them have been so far. It probably goes without saying. By the way, to get back to the oscillator type selection, just hold Shift again and turn the type knob, and there you go. And once again, you can go Shift and type to get back to the sample select. So I'm not really a granular synthesis pro at all. I wouldn't even call myself like an amateur at it. I'm that naive when it comes to granular synthesis. So like I said earlier, there's far better videos for people who want these brand new oscillator types explained. However, I'm going to play with some. So right now we're on the scan grains oscillator type. The wave knob controls the scan parameter. The timbre knob controls the density. And the shape controls chaos. Okay. Let's modulate the amount of density on the timbre knob with a key press. How about that? So we'll go timbre knob, key press, and set it to 100. We'll max it out, and we'll turn it off here. So the more of my finger... the more of my finger I apply... That's so cool. Let's turn on the ARP. Unreal. Obviously, I'm using a snare drum sample. This engine, to me, seems more suited to like pads and stuff like that. So I'm just playing around, I'm just messing around here. Let's try cloud grains. Oh, okay. I think that's more what I was after. So it keeps going. That's so cool. Whoa. That's unreal. That's absolutely wild. And then here's hit grains. So the shape knob here actually controls shape, it says. I mean, the amount of sounds you're going to be able to generate with this just from one sample alone is absolutely unreal. However, there has been an additional feature added, and this one's pretty neat. If you go to Utility, go to Preset, go to Modulations, and go down to key/ARP mode, you can see we can now set it from linear to random. And what this does is allows the key/ARP modulation source down here to generate a random value every time you press a key, rather than just have it go from like 0 to 88 or whatever. I'm not exactly familiar with how that scales, but you could have it like you could have the filter closed down here on this end, and then as you worked your way up the keyboard, it could open up, things like that. Now it's just random on every note. Let's switch to their sample of the piano real quick here. We'll just go piano clean. There we go. So a good way to tell what's going on here is actually to assign key/ARP to pitch. And let's turn it up to, sure, 5.2. Not a lot. Watch what happens when I continuously press the same key. So if we turn that down a bit, let's say like 0.5. You can hear every time I hit it, the pitch just wobbles just a little bit. And as you can imagine, that goes a long way in making synth patches feel a lot more humanized, even further than the Microfreak could have taken them in the past. Let's pick a new sample here. And this works with any oscillator type, by the way. So actually, let's not pick a sample. Let's just go to virtual analog, sure. Let's turn this down even more since we're going to be playing with multiple notes. Let's set it at 0.2, and let's play some chords. Okay, there we go. As you can see, a lot of potential there for humanizing sounds, and that was just using the new randomization there in the key/ARP source to modulate pitch. Just a fraction. You can get really wacky. If you know how deep the Microfreak's patch bay is, then you know how crazy all of this in this video actually really is. The potential here is, well, I'll say it again, unlimited. Unlimited, straight up. The ability to import your own samples is absolutely huge and pretty crazy of a feature to get, 4 years into the life cycle of a budget synthesizer. I also just realized you're going to be able to sample things with reverb, and other effects, and have those sorts of sounds come out of the Microfreak if that's something you're after. The new randomization for the key ARP is really cool and going to make for some very playable patches. I can't wait to see what people do with the arpeggiator and the sequencer with that as well, and of course their own samples. I can't wait to dive into the new sample-based oscillator types and learn more about granular synthesis. It's something that actually really interests me, and well, now I actually have a piece of gear that can help me deconstruct what's going on in some of these patches and figure out how stuff works and how stuff sounds the way it does and why it does. And, well, that just really excites me, and frankly just makes me proud to be a Microfreak owner. So I do hope you found this video informative, or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too, doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.